Right. Welcome to the Creator Show. My name is David, and I've been working with creators worldwide to help them monetize their knowledge. Today, we have Stephen and Maria Crane joining us from Crane Transformation Coaching. Maria and Stephen are well respected leaders in their field and community. Stephen began his professional life in the medical field and practiced family and emergency medicine for more than 34 years. Stephen now uses his knowledge of medicine and nutrition as well as his decades of experience in healthcare to encourage others to make their lifestyle adjustment that will allow them to take command of their own health and experience greater energy and happiness. Maria is an author, mentor, consultant, speaker, and educator. Maria has taught for over 3 decades as well in a variety of in different schools and communities. Her credo is to assist clients in reaching their maximum potential by encouraging them to believe in themselves and persevere until they achieve mastery and breakthrough. Maria also enjoys creating beauty through interior design, painting murals, restyling clothes, and acting as a stylist for our clients. Uh, Maria's first children's book and song collection, Silver Song, helps students discover how loved and special they are and deal with the pain of being bullied. Maria and Stephen, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I'm really honored to have both of you talking to me about uh, the life of a creator or the journey of a creator on this show. And to deep dive into this, we can maybe talk a little bit about both of your experiences so far in your industries.
Go ahead. Yeah, thank you for having us.
We really appreciate your this opportunity to talk with you, David, and it has been a journey for us. As you pointed out, I first started out in medicine. Have had a long term desire in preventive medicine, and between college and med school, I did a master's in nutrition because I was very interested in preventive medicine and particularly the power of nutrition in health. But then I did 34 years of practice in emergency and family medicine and retired a couple of years ago. When I retired, I was very delighted to now have the opportunity to really help work on the preventive thing. As much as I loved medicine, there was so much about medicine that is oriented toward disease management with medicines and procedures. And I was really interested in helping people get well and stay well. So when we did our coaching business, that's what became the emphasis.
And really, was all this happened right in the midst of COVID, which we know changed the world. And what it did, in a good sense, was give us opportunity to start learning how to do an online business and to create our courses online, so more people had access to it. But we had a way of getting information out because the world was kind of shut down in person. So it was a great opportunity for that.
So I think following up on what you just said, Maria, with COVID coming into the picture and kind of putting barricades for everybody to be able to go outside, everything had to be digitalized, everything had to go online. Uh, how was that transition for you when it came to crane transformation?
Well, I joined a coaching program. We learned how the skills we're still learning. We're lifelong learners. I'm a teacher, and I love to educate people, but I love to keep learning myself. And so we really learned the ins and out of coaching people about their health care. And really, the joy of it was we could have clients in other states, other countries. We weren't limited by who was in our immediate surroundings locally. And we feel like it's the wave of the future because it's taken all kinds of information and courses and made it accessible to people worldwide, and also more affordable for many people than having to travel to a certain place to get the information or enroll in a college program. So we're delighted with this, and it's keeping us on our toes, learning more and more. So we're
It,
thrilled.
it really was an eye opener for me because I was at retirement. I was thinking, well, how can I do the preventive medicine and they really help people get well and stay well? And I was thinking about a standard brick and mortar kind of office, where you'd be limited then to just the clients in your particular area, which has some advantages, but disadvantage is that you can hit a much broader
Yeah.
audience over the internet if you once you get
Hmm.
into the network. So a lot of our coaching program was about how to do that. We really both had to learn how to have an online business, which has been
Yeah.
a big
Fresh
part of
Learn has
this.
helped us with that. So that's wonderful.
Wonderful. I know usually the most seeked after question for most of my viewers is, basically we talk about how do you go about becoming a creator, right? So usually the scenario is the pandemic that kind of made that shift for everybody. Was there anything else that added to this that caused you to become a creator, or was this already in the plans at some point?
I think part of it is that as a teacher, I'm always creating curriculum and courses. I enjoy that. I'm also an artist, so I love the creative process. I think what the digital age and the internet, even in COVID forcing this, is allowed people to think about what's your expertise, what are you good at, how can you translate that into information and a course for other people to benefit. And for us, it really became how can we serve more people? And the online presence and our website with Fresh Learn allows us to increase our impact and our influence. And then also income. You have the possibility of making money from your course. The creative process, I think you need to get other people's feedback and make sure you have proof of concept. You have something, you've created something that others actually want to pay for, because we all get a lot of ideas, but sometimes they're not something that other people want. So you want to, I think that was one of the challenges for us. We kind of did a beta group to make sure what we were offering is something people wanted, and not just wanted, but were willing to pay for. So yeah.
So when you talk about a lot of people have ideas to how to begin this. When we talk about your ideas, or when you all started creating transformation, uh, what was that like? When you created your first course, right? What was that experience like?
Well, the big thing that we were really wanting to focus on initially, and what I wanted to do even in my when I was still in practice, was to start a obesity practice, a lifestyle medicine type of
Mhm.
practice. But there just wasn't much room for it, frankly. I mean, my profession was very oriented toward treating disease and illness, and
Mhm.
I was involved in that for a long time. I'm very grateful for those, but I had just gotten to the point where I really wanted to help people get well and stay well. And so part of it was that we knew that there was a growing interest in preventive medicine and lifestyle, that kind of thing out there, and we just thought, well, that's a market that we'd really like to plug
Mhm.
into. And so we tested that out with, as Maria said, with our beta group, and it really seemed to hit strike a chord. And with that, we really jumped in more thoroughly, developing our material.
And we made a lot of calls and contacted people just to see, to test our program, see is this something that would interest you. I got a download about wellness, what it involved, water and hydration, exercise. If you spell the word wellness, light, laughter, nutrition, the whole idea of your environment being part of your health, and also getting enough sleep and rest, and then serving other people and a support system. And people really resonated with that. And we've been able to do several group classes now, and just really, I think the beauty for us is we also get to see, we call it crane transformation coaching, because we see people look different after working with us and after going through our course. Their bodies are different, they have a more joyful countenance, they sleep better, they've started exercising. So for us, it's very motivating because we can see the changes in them and they can see the
Yes.
changes, and that's really our best PR. They can tell other people, and other people will ask them, "Well, wow, you look different. You look better. What did you do?" So that having that proof of concept is helpful when you can see it.
Right. So I think the word transformation plays a key role there, because it's exactly what that is, right? I mean, you're transforming somebody into you know something that they envision themselves to be in the future, but
Yeah,
they never really took that step, and everybody
yeah,
needs that help, right? So I think
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. So and Stephen, as you said, preventive medicine is, I think, definitely something that a lot of people are uh, getting into it, because it's all about healthy lifestyle now. I
yeah.
feel like the awareness for maintaining a healthy lifestyle is a lot. more than what it used to be before. I guess
Yeah.
earlier it used to be, when you go to the doctor and you then understand you've got XYZ, you have to then come back and cut back and do all of that. But now people are actually are taking preventive steps to make sure they don't get to that point, right?
Yes.
Exactly. One of the things that is one of our underlying principles is we believe firmly that the body is beautifully designed and created. It wants to be well,
Hmm.
and it's designed to be well under a variety of circumstances, to take a
Yeah.
variety of starting points and to work health into it if you're not too hard on it. And so these 8 simple principles that we use are core concepts in the whole area of lifestyle medicine. And part of the thing that we really try to do is if you do a few simple things, the body, as complex as it is, will really work well. If, in medicine, I have books and books and books about pathology and pharmacology and all these other kinds of things that took years and years to understand. Well, people don't need that level of understanding. What they need to do is just a basic understanding of how their body works and what is
Yeah.
required for basic maintenance of the body. And that's a fairly simple thing that, if you put it together with a body that wants to be
Yeah.
well, works well.
And the other thing we really have to work on is people's mindsets, because if you think you can be well, that possibility exists. But so many people get trapped in their thinking and think, oh, if my parents had heart problem or cancer, I'm going to get it, that it's going to come down the road genetically. And we really have to work against that, people's own minds about their wellness, because most of Western medicine treats symptoms. It doesn't really go to the roots of disease. And we also in our program and see that that what's happening in our spirit, man, our spiritual, our emotional affects our physical. So things like unforgiveness and bitterness can make your body sick. And so we look at the whole person and their thought life. What are they thinking about? What are they telling themselves about their body's condition? And that's really where most of the process has to begin in our brains, and even our subconscious brains, because we have to get to the control center. It's like coding. It's like the IT work. You code your brain with your realities by what you speak and what you think about. So we have to
Right.
really help people think about what they're thinking about, their health and their body. For example, I had a friend who always, she was trying to develop exercise, but she kept saying, I hate to exercise. I hate to exercise. And I said, you hate to exercise because you keep saying it, and your brain, your limbic system, believes what you tell it. So if you would start saying, I love to exercise instead of I hate to, and tie it to something you enjoy, which she loves to listen to podcasts. So I said, start with a 10-minute walk around your block, listening to your favorite podcast. Well, she did that. Now she's up to 4 miles and she gets to listen to a lot of podcasts. And she
Wow.
loves to exercise because she's feeling the benefit. She's sleeping better. She's lost weight. She just, it has its own built-in reward, because we need to feel the reward of practicing good, healthy techniques. So,
Absolutely. And then I think I can relate to that because maybe a year back I was in the same boat, and I think I was I would say glued to my seat most of the time because again of the pandemic, right? There are good and bad with this. So one thing that the pandemic did was made us kind of pushed us to work from home, which basically meant we are in that four walls, right? So I kind of got into that kind of a rut,
yeah.
and then walking or taking a brisk walk. Uh, I don't know. It never came naturally to me, but when I kind of started feeling like this is something I need to do, uh, I did the exact same thing. I started walking maybe 30 minutes and then 40. Now I'm up to like 50 minutes, and I do listen to a lot of podcasts, while I'm walking. So yeah, I totally understand. If my legs are not carrying me on a particular day, then I'm usually listening to music, but otherwise it's podcasts. So yeah, I
Yes.
can
Well, that's
totally
great.
understand.
It's great to be, we say killing two birds with one stone. You can be exercising
Right.
while you're educating your mind. So,
Absolutely. I think
yeah.
when you sorry, go ahead.
I think your example is a great example of some of the principles that we use. Start where you are. Start with
Hmm.
what you can do. Everybody can get out and start walking.
Yeah.
Start with little steps. Little steps added together, done consistently, lead to big results. we're big advocates of that. And so, like Maria says, we spend a lot of time
Hmm.
talking about and addressing the issue of mindset and motivation because that's key to any kind of transformation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do agree 100%. When you decided to take this entire, the entire, crane coaching or transformation coaching online, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how were you able to overcome those?
I think first of all we had to learn all the new technology. We're not as young as some of the like our son, we feel like they almost have an extra chromosome for technology. So
Yeah,
we had to learn that, and learn all about how it's almost like how you appear online too, because it's kind of like now the world's open up where you're like a TV newscaster or you're online, you have a presence. And so just to be clear on your speaking abilities, really master that whole approach, how you sound online and the technology. So, you can present yourself well and also in a manner that's fun, because a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, but they don't always present it in a way that's easy for people to listen to or to receive. And we believe learning should be fun. And I like that about Fresh Learn, even the gamification. People want to be rewarded when they spend time learning something or applying it, because we want it to move from the head to actually doing it. There's a Chinese proverb that says, I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. And we want people to apply the information and do it. It's like Nike, just do it, because that's where the rewards come. So,
right. Uh, Give me 1 second. Let me just. Right. So I think the other thing is, now when it comes to what you do, what was your approach towards the process of learning and staying up to date with the current practices and industry trends?
Well, my profession requires
mhm.
continuing education. So for all my professional life, I had to do like 50 hours a year. Now I'm in retirement. I still do 25 hours a year. So, and I've really tried to orient most of mine toward my current field, which is lifestyle medicine. I'm actually a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, which
Right.
emphasizes the very set of knowledge that we're trying to advocate for our clients. And that's been very, very helpful to me is to have that ongoing professional education in the area of medicine.
Right.
Maria also
Yeah.
has been very helpful to uh, with our coaching principles and that kind of thing to keep up to date on that.
Yeah, because in our coaching program too, we are always get learning new information, and uh, whether it's doing a summit, doing a webinar, learning to do online virtual events, learning the best ways to communicate and to reach the most people. So we are in both in professions where we have to keep up the educational part of our learning to update, and we actually enjoy that part. It keeps your brain sharp.
Yes, Maria actually said something earlier today that I thought was very useful. It says, we are better coaches if we are in a coaching relationship ourselves. So we have our own coaches that help
Yeah.
us with the things that we don't know as well that we need help with on all this online stuff and the business stuff. We have the material but we need really
Hmm.
we need help with people like that to help us learn how to package it. And I would recommend that for anybody else that's trying to do it. You know your subject, but get help on the areas where you
Yeah.
need some additional expertise.
Yeah, we say a coach really is someone who's been where you want to go, and you pay them to show you how to get there. So that term, like just like we're always, upgrading our systems, and we need to upgrade our own knowledge and find people that have mastered the skills that we need and then learn from them, get mentored from them, be
Mhm.
coached by them. So it's about relationship, because people want to be connected with people that can help them go where they're going, because they're more of an expert than they are. So we stay involved in those kinds of relationships.
Right. And I think in a certain way, a lot of the people now with the information available online, uh, like probably know what to do, but they just don't know how to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I think, like as you rightly said, when you have somebody who's already been there, shows you the way, then becomes easy because the knowledge that you've let's say gained by yourself through through the internet. Uh, it's still knowledge, but it's not kind of productive knowledge, I guess. Till you kind of know how
Yeah,
to how it works, right? So that's how it's kind
yeah,
of designed. So absolutely, and then
exactly.
sorry, go ahead.
I just said exactly. You're right.
Okay, right. So with all of the challenges that you've had to face, moving from an offline business to an online, uh, you know, how would you attribute success as a coach and an educator?
How would we?
Attribute success.
Oh, you mean just increase? What are you asking? Increase
So
our access?
so how would you define success?
Oh, success.
Yeah.
I think for us, for it's just to see more lives change. We really love seeing that, like we said, the transformation. And obviously, I guess it would be in terms of our impact, seeing others get healthier, but also um, reaching people from other countries is
Right.
exciting to us, and also increasing our income because we would like to, turn some of our profits back into nonprofit work. And also, we do a lot of missions work in different countries. So to be able to finance those travel expenses, and eventually we'd love to have a wellness center. So we can, as long as we keep increasing in our profits and setting our quarterly goals and meeting them, then that's successful. As long as we continue to feel joy in doing it. Because if you burn out or you lose your passion for it, then I think you're not as successful in it because you communicate that joy and that passion to other people. So if you just have expertise, but you don't have a real love for people or a desire to serve them, I don't think you're going to be very successful. And that's the part we enjoy really, is meeting the people and seeing them discover that they can do things that they believe maybe they couldn't do before. Even like taking control over their own health and saying, hey, I don't have to run to the doctor every time I feel some pain in my body. I can practice some good lifestyle choices and feel better. And so that's really the measure of success, is for us seeing transform lives.
And I think one of the things that we've learned is that from the business community itself really recognizes this principle is that if you
Mhm.
get your mind off of just how much profit you're going to make and instead look
Yeah,
toward how you can serve people,
yeah,
if you are always looking on your horizon of how to find out what other people need and find a way, if you can plug
hmm,
into that need, then you have a business,
a
you have a
successful
successful business
business. Yeah.
plan, and that will result in income. But you're not really focused on how much money I can bring in. You're focused on how can I help this person. And that's been one of the things that our business coaches have really helped us with is if
Hmm.
we focus on what we can help our clients with to help
Hmm.
them get healthy and stay healthy, which
Yeah.
is our prime objective. That's what we're trying to do. Then the money and the other things will come.
And I think people want to they want to like you and connect with you. So you want to have some good people skills are important. And they want to be able to trust you. They want to
Mhm.
know that you're going to deliver what you say you're going to do. And so we feel successful if we over deliver. So instead of just giving them what we promise, we give more. And so they come away feeling valued, and they feel that they can trust us, and they enjoy relating to us and working with us because we genuinely care about them. We are authentic in our care and concern for them. It's not just about making money for us. It's about really, as our name says, transforming lives, seeing them discover the joy of being healthy and long-term health, and then passing it on to their children and establishing a legacy of health for generations to
Yes.
come, because they're not trapped in the pain of certain diseases and the genetic components of their family history. That's what really we enjoy.
One of the things that I saw in my practice is how many people were coming in with the same health
Yeah.
problems: the obesity, the diabetes, the arthritis, the cancers, the heart disease, the strokes, and that kind of thing. All of those, every one of those things,
Yeah.
have a major lifestyle component to it that either sets the stage for them developing
Hmm.
that disease or is their road out of that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so part of the thing that I've really wanted to do, and that's why I really wanted to kind of start moving from treating the results of that to really helping with the underlying cause. And so one
Hmm.
of the things I learned in the lifestyle medicine group is that the obesity problem is now
Yeah.
there are more people dying of obesity and complications of obesity throughout the world than there are dying of starvation. When I was a young man, when I was a kid, there was the world food crisis and starvation. That still is a problem, but there are more people now that are dying from obesity and overconsumption and over intake and poor
Hmm.
lifestyles than there were dying of some of those things that
Right.
we grew up with. And so it's a big problem that needs a
Worldwide.
lot of people's help on. So we could, there
Yeah.
could be 100 uh, businesses like ours addressing, and we'd still barely touch the tip of the iceberg.
And
So we really want to see that that pattern broken.
we had a couple, husband and wife, that had moved into diabetes, and that was kind of their, we need help, we don't want to be taking insulin and diabetic. And that's the joy. We just have seen them lose over 120 pounds combined, move off the medicines, and really have the joy.
Down on it.
The wife said to me recently, I haven't weighed this little since high school. And she had to buy all new clothes, which is a fun problem to have, but just to see that kind of joy come from people. And, I was the fat kid. I was a fat kid and teased and bullied for being fat. So I know the pain. It's also the emotional pain inside. I don't believe anybody enjoys being overweight, and people judge you. And there's just so much mental, just shaming, body shaming, and all that goes with it. So we really feel like that's part of the success too. When you can
Mm,
see
yes.
people learn to enjoy their body and not feel the shame, and be able to move with ease. And we have clients, we always get our clients to tell us, why do you want to do this? And some of them, they have many different reasons. Some want to be able to roll around and play with their grandkids. Some want to be able to sit in one airline seat so they can travel. And some want to get off their diabetes medicines. There's so many reasons, but we find that that's the biggest success, is seeing people achieve their goals so
Mhm.
that they are no longer trapped in a body that's in pain. Yeah.
So I think one thing that has definitely contributed towards obesity and diabetes, I would say, is definitely the pandemic, right? Because I've seen a lot of people that have actually come under with diabetes or have gotten obese
Yes.
because of the lack of movement, right? The active lifestyle. People were forced to kind of be behind doors, for many months at a time, which kind of, when you go out of routine, you go out of sync,
Yes.
and it's very easy to, I guess, get complacent and then get lazy. Unknowingly it happens, but then to fight back and to come through it,
Mhm.
it's not easy to do that, on your own. I believe, it's always helpful when you have somebody who's gone through it all, knows what to do, how to do it,
Yes.
and motivate you, right?
And I did it. I mean, I lost 30 pounds during the pandemic, and it's possible. We would even exercise in our home because our gyms were closed. And but it's possible because I literally would eat good protein, vegetables. I eat healthy, but I also did what's called interim fasting. We teach some of that, where there were periods where I wasn't eating, and to just shift my metabolism. And there's so much exercise you can do at home, or even walking fast. So we really try to teach people, just because you're in your house doesn't mean you can't exercise and you can't eat right. It's really, again, we believe all things are possible if people believe it, but they have to be able to say, I can make changes, and I can make them little by little. And all those little changes add up to some big transformation if I'm consistent. And if you, like for our program, we say, if you work the program works. And so what we do, we kind of use a Midas approach. Like the Midas was the one who touched everything, turned to gold. And we say
Right.
the M stands for your motivation and your mindset. And the I stands for information. Sometimes you need new information. Like we had clients that had never done interim fasting before, so we taught them a new tool. And then the D stands for declarations. We actually have people say their goals out loud, and try to really rewire their brain about it, their subconscious mind. And then the A is activator, or apply what you've learned. You have to do it. And then the S stands for support, getting the support you need, because we're not meant to do life alone. We need community, we need coaches, we need people to come alongside us, especially when we maybe struggle, to say, okay, come on, let's go, let's reset, let's start over again. So we feel like that approach has really helped our clients.
Wonderful. So when you talk about clients, you've also spoken about your outreach, which is global now, where you get to go to travel to different countries. So what would you say would be your advice for aspiring course creators, and what kind of pitfalls should they avoid?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we realized is that at the beginning, probably the most important initial step is to really get clarity
Mm-hmm.
on what you're doing and who you're doing it for,
And
and
why?
why, and not let that be too broad. Oh, I want to help people. No, or I
Yeah,
want to help people get healthy. That's just too broad. You need to
narrow it down.
narrow it down. You need to get focus on what problem that you have some passion about,
Uh-huh.
number one. And the second thing is, what expertise do you have that you can bring to that problem? So if you start with clarity
Uh-huh.
on
Uh-huh.
what you're trying to help with
Yes.
and who you're trying to help, and then a good sense of what you have to offer. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a degree.
Uh-huh.
It can be your experience.
Uh-huh.
You can have had a very profound experience that has a big effect on your life, that's motivating and energizing what you do. And that's probably the single most important thing. And then to find out where your areas of weakness are. What do you need help
Uh-huh.
with? Do you need help with the electronics and the internet stuff? And get help. Get help where you
Yeah.
need it.
Don't try to do it all yourself. We feel like you need a team approach. And even our work with Fresh Learn, you guys have helped us a lot. And we feel like the team, most people need a team. We're not good in everything, and we need to find people who are, to help us in the process. And I think what Stephen said is so true, narrowing down your niche, because they often say even the riches are in the niches, not trying to be too wide that you're trying to help everybody, but we even have a transformational message where we say we're wellness mindset health coaches who help people renew their minds, reshape their bodies, and restore their health. To be able to say it in one sentence of what you do, and really look at it as a course creator also, what problem are you solving? People have problems every day, whether it's I need to fix my car, it broke down, or I need a place to live, or I need help with course creation, whatever it is. And so you want to be the answer to someone's problem. And when you can provide them with a service that has good value, that's consistent, then
Mhm.
you're going to be successful as a course creator. And I think really to avoid the pitfall of trying to do it all by yourself. It's much faster and easier if you pay someone to help you. And we all need help. We do. We need people to
Absolutely.
come alongside us and help us. So
Right. So you
yeah.
can be a course creator, you can be an educator, but you also have to be someone's, well, you need a mentor as well, right? This
Yes,
is very
exactly.
important to have that because I guess when you have somebody guiding you, you kind of understand the direction that you're going in, right? Otherwise,
Yes.
no matter the effort you put in, if you're going in all directions, it's really not being very productive for
Yes.
you, right?
Yeah.
One last question. So
Mhm.
let's talk about what the future looks like for online trainings and courses.
I think one of the effects of the pandemic has been to really break people out of the mindset is that your business is limited to your space and your time zone.
Yeah.
The thing
Yeah.
that the internet does is it enables the world to be your stage, and sometimes that's a problem because it's too big of a world. And how in the world do you find a market in that?
Hmm.
But the reality is that the internet and internet based business is
Are
here to
booming.
stay, and it's, if anything, growing dramatically. And I think one of the things that the pandemic
Hmm.
did was emphasize to people that's the case. They don't even have to go to the same office every day and
Hmm.
work. That they can work from home, they can work from their vacation site
Yeah,
if they
we've done
want
that.
to. We don't recommend that. Take a vacation, but the idea is that it is very portable,
Hmm.
and the world economy is moving that direction. I don't think the clock is going to be turned back there.
it's a billion-dollar industry and growing. So I think it's leveled the playing field so many people can get into it.
Yeah.
And people get nervous and oh, there's so many courses on this and that already online. But there's 8 billion people in the world. And again, it's about a relationship you develop with your clients. So different personalities are going to attract different types of people, different age groups are going to attract different types of people. So we just say it's here to stay, jump into it and be consistent. And if you find that you've tried something a couple times and it's not really working, or maybe your messaging, your copy, your branding needs to shift, then you pivot, you make a change and you see, hey, does this attract more clients? So being willing, I think, to pivot when you need to and make changes, that's part of growing, and get other people's feedback. Be really good about
Yes.
getting other people's feedback, because the digital course and online businesses are here to stay and growing. And so I just see it as an open door opportunity for people to jump in.
Right. I think I've seen a lot of creators from all walks of life.
Yes.
People, I think before the pandemic, were kind of sitting on the fence, have actually taken that leap. I think you find the numbers are staggering now. Not just for people becoming creators, but for people who actually want to learn. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen, or at least in the past, I've seen a couple of creators or institutes that had like 120 or 150 member coaching program for the entire year.
Yeah.
Now, having gone online, they're actually coaching 60 to 70,000 people in a year.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Amazing.
that's so. I mean, I think at the end of the day, when you look at this, you look at the knowledge that you're imparting.
Mhm.
Also, it'll also help you monetize what you know, but more importantly, it'll help you empower people, with your knowledge, right? So that's, I think,
Yes.
the most important thing.
It's
How
a
long would it take you to build a business in your own community to 60 to 70,000 people?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just couldn't, that would be an impossibility. But the, it's almost limitless when you look at the
Hmm.
internet. If you learn how to use it.
Hmm.
Wow.
And it's a win-win, because people are looking for your services and you're offering them. And when you meet up online, that's where you can best serve people and the possibilities open the door. And we just believe that it's what we said earlier. It's a way of increasing your impact, your influence, your circle gets bigger, it creates a ripple effect. And then inevitably, the blessing is you can make more income for too. So it's a win-win-win situation.
Absolutely. So I think you pretty much answered a lot of my questions for all my viewers and for all the creators out there. Thank you so much for your time, for being able to do this with me,
All right.
and
Well, welcome to look at our website,
absolutely.
cranetransformationcoaching.com.
Created
I was,
by
I
Fish.
was just coming to that actually to say, if anybody, wants to have a look at what you guys do, braintransformationcoaching.com is where they should be going into. Uh, I'm a big believer of what you do, simply because I've lived through that stage, right, where you want to kind of do something, take that step to be able to get better, but you don't know how. I mean, I know what to do, I don't know how.
Yeah.
So, and when I was reading up on your website earlier as well, I did notice a lot of what you teach, what a lot of the knowledge that you impart is something that I can resonate with. It's something that I would definitely, as an individual, want to be, doing something like that.
Yeah.
Be able
Come
to,
be our client.
yeah,
You can help us
yeah,
with technology.
absolutely,
Help. I
absolutely,
I want to just tell people in general, if you're thinking of being a creator, collective, that your imagination has a lot of power. And what if we believe it, we will receive it. And everything that was created, the internet was in someone's imagination. Every
right,
piece of clothing we wear started in someone's imagination, then they had it made. Walt Disney, he saw Disneyland in his imagination first.
right,
Then he gathered people and made it. Every home you see, every building started in someone's imagination. So just, really be looking at what you're thinking about, what's in your imagination, what's been implanted in your heart to create for other people to enjoy. And then start the process. Connect with Fresh Learn and others that will help you to develop that and see the possibilities, because they're endless if again we believe it. So be
absolutely,
encouraged.
awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having
David.
us.
We
Yeah,
really
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Appreciate Fresh Learn.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.